Welcome to RV Talk Radio. Here we talk about RV living, RV lifestyles, and RV travel. We also celebrate the RV lifestyle that gives us the chance to do outdoor activities that we couldn't do in a normal lifestyle. So thanks for joining us. Grab yourself a cup of coffee, a cup of tea, and let's talk about RVs. Hello everyone, this is Rob from RV Talk Radio. You are listening to episode 132. And yes, I am talking to you from my RV. And I must apologize right off the bat, because I am using a microphone that is not my quality microphone that I usually have. I abruptly had to move up here to Arizona and grabbed all the equipment possible. I grabbed an old microphone and an old mixer, knowing that I probably have to do a show from the RV, and that's exactly where I'm at, here in our RV. So, in prior episodes, I think I've explained to you that we kept our RV up here in Central Oregon. And one of the reasons was Sherry's folks, my folks are long gone, but Sherry's folks have been doing and thriving just great for years and years and years, but they're getting up there in a way. And so we always kept the RV here because we kind of knew we might have to come up here for some time and help out if something was to happen. And that day has come. And you know, I hate it when you kind of plan or do some things, cautionary kind of things, and it comes true. So it's kind of been a sad thing, but one we were highly prepared for. And so we abruptly had to come up to Arizona, and the timing was good where we could actually be here for as long as we want to be here, and grab some inventory from my poopy bag business and brought equipments and computers and the whole work. So Sherry flew up here ahead of me, and then I abruptly drove up here. And if you were watching the RangerRob video channel on YouTube, you would have seen a video of me driving 26 hours straight nonstop. Yeah, other than restrooms and stopping for food. So that was a really hard drive. But now you know why. Is Sherry got up here before her father passed. That's who we lost, and I was happy for that. And obviously she needed support, but not only did I bring up a whole lot of things, we have the fifth wheel here. I brought up our pets, the dog and the cat, because we could be here a while. In the meantime, I've got to live with a microphone that isn't my favorite, but it's workable. And if with your guys' understanding, please give me a little bit of slack, because I just didn't want to grab the really nice mic right away, but I figure I'll probably end up having to go back down to Arizona in a month or two, and then I'll bring up those little things that are just I really miss, and that's having a good microphone. I also just did a playback and realized I said I was on my way to Arizona. No, it's from Arizona up to Central Oregon, which is the Bend, Oregon area, if you ever heard of the area. So Bend is a beautiful, beautiful area, and it's definitely a destination for a lot of people retiring. A lot of Californians moved here, kind of drove the houses up a little bit, but it's very country, very beautiful. We have 7 wonderful mountains you can see from a distance. Pretty nice weather. It's a high desert area, and a lot of juniper trees, and it's a mix of high desert and kind of your pine tree kind of places, but the trees here are mostly junipers, and very pretty. It's a blend of green and brown, you might say. So not like the deserts, obviously true deserts down in Arizona, but it's a beautiful area to live, and they do have pretty cold winters, not severe winters, but you definitely get a touch of all 4 seasons here. And it's been kind of funny because when we get up here, We're taking over maintaining a 5-acre place with lots of grass and all kinds of, and lots of wildlife here, lots of deer and all kinds of critters around here. And this property actually surrounded has a game fence, so it keeps the deer out because it keeps them out of the gardens. And a lot of grass, and a lot of grass also means a lot of lawn mowing. If you have been watching our videos, and one's coming up this particular week, you'll see it's kind of funny for us kind of having to figure out some of the equipment. Sherry and I actually lived here prior many years ago. We actually had our mini farm here. I actually used to raise game birds and pheasants and checkers. And so we're pretty country bumpkin ourselves. And we had an old tractor and things like that. But Jay, the guy that owns this property that passed, we had to learn how to use a lawnmower that doesn't have a steering wheel. It has the little push rod things on it. And so that was kind of interesting, kind of learning that. And luckily my son, Robert, came over the same week when I got here to help me get my hands around the property. And we had a few things to fix, a lot more things to fix. The last year it was a little harder for him to maintain the property. So I'm kind of picking up the things that I know that he would have had a hard time working on. And so so it's been one great exercise for me. I'm hopefully drop some pounds. It'll be good for me to get mobile again and start working property. Of course, I've got to work my business and radio and all this kind of stuff. And so we're really juggling a lot while we're taking care of Sherry's mom, who's not very mobile. And so it's suddenly we had one lifestyle, and in a blink of an eye, we have now another lifestyle. Can't give out all the details of what we're going to do in the future. We don't know yet, but we'll let you know as we go. And I kind of want to spend some time talking about the RV and how well it's been a lifesaver. And that's what this show's all about, is RV Talk Radio. And this is looking at an RV a little different. I mean, normally everybody looks at their RV as traveling and going to see the world. But, RVs have so many other purposes. Some people use them to live in permanently in different places to lower their overhead. Some people use them for work. Some people use it for their mobile jobs. In our case, we use it more like a vacation home, but this was actually our RV was placed in a certain place here for the regrettable thing that could have happened, and it did happen. It's kind of like prepping. You prep and you say, oh, that's silly. You put a bunch of water and food aside for, emergency and stuff like that, and you hope nothing ever happens. But when it does, you go, thank goodness I thought ahead a little bit. And that's exactly what we're saying about the RV. For those that may have said, well, gosh, Rob, you're being lazy, or your RV's going to waste. No, it was sitting here that we used once or twice a year to come visit Sherry's folks when we could, and had a purpose, a mission, to be here if Sherry's parents had any problems. And that day has come. And thank the Lord, our RV is here.
Ford's RV Refrigeration Training Center, a licensed school, has many objectives for only one product, the RV refrigerator. We educate others so they can provide a repair service in their area, repair their own refrigerator, or when they hear throw it away, buy a new one, they'll know the right questions to ask in order to know whether or not their technician has been properly educated. Since 1984, we have saved RV owners money, provided them the best warranty, and reduced our carbon footprint. We accomplish these objectives daily through our service and training programs. Military veterans can even use their GI Bill for our training program, which includes our customized tools and manuals. Visit rvrefrigeration.com to find free DIY repair videos and information on our service and training programs. As a thanks to Rob Scribner, we're offering his listeners a free 11-point RV refrigerator inspection and 1 free night of camping at our location in Benton, Kentucky. Go to rvrefrigeration.com to call and make an appointment. That's rvrefrigeration.com. Thanks for listening. Stay cool and GBYAY.
Well, one of the things we've discovered, is trying to tell you a little bit some of the things that we're taking care of with the RV. One of the things was we had a mouse problem last time, and we had to do a thorough cleaning of the storage area of below, and then we were going to report back to you whether our strategy of using mint throughout the RV in the storage area, the hidden compartments, and the inside. And I have to say that looks like we're pretty darn successful. Doesn't look like we had any critters get into the RV while we were gone for about a month. It was about a month before we had to come back. And so I'm a believer. So if you're storing your RV, I highly recommend you go to Home Depot or Lowe's, I think would have it too, and get the little mint that go over where the mouse traps and stuff and all that, and you'll find it there. Packets of mint. They look like oversized tea bags, and they're kind of potent at first, but boy, I tell you, I think it worked to keep them at bay. Doesn't mean that they won't necessarily come in, but it's going to be distasteful to them, and it's just going to be not the preferred place to want to hang out. And I didn't want to use traps or anything, obviously. You've caught a mouse and you're not in your RV, get in here for a month. You could have a really bad-smelling RV with a dead mouse sitting in your RV decaying away. So anyway, it turned out to be a good plan. The plan worked well. So the second thing we had to do is we always, if you looked at our videos, we always had the RV parked in the back. So we tend to boondock when we're here because I have a generator. And you probably saw in the last videos, if you watch any of our videos on RangerRob channel, you'll see that we had to change batteries out. We actually did a lot of work on the RV last time we were here. And I'm really glad we did, because now up here I don't have to be really fixing anything and just focusing on taking care of Sherry's mother and the property, and got my hands full on top of my business too. And of course, you get the concern of leaving a house behind, is like fully beautiful house, swimming pool, and all of our worldly belongings, and trying to decide what we're going to do in the future. And I can't think out loud about that too much yet, because it changes. I could say something today and it'd be totally different 2 weeks from now. So a little early to decide how our lives are going to be. We fully are committed to taking care of Sherry's mother. We always knew that day was coming, and we are the responsible part of the family to do that. And so in writing and the whole work. So that's what we're going to do. Keep our promise. Keeping our promise is probably the most important out of all of this. The good thing, I guess, would be is our videos will start being very outdoorish, because you'll see as the videos are coming out, you'll see there'll be much more. I think for the week that this comes out, there's some videos coming out about us trying to kind of get our hands around what we're doing here in the property. But Central Oregon is a beautiful place to hang out, and so we'll have lots of outdoor kind of videos we really enjoy, along with a lot of road trips, and eventually there could be snowbirding in the future. I don't know. We'll see. I just don't know. But until then, they make the best of whatever cards are dealt to you, and these are our cards right now. And so we'll do a lot of things about what it's like to be in Central Oregon and how gorgeous it is, and a lot of wildlife. And share the funny stories of Sherry and I were kind of redneck farmers at one time, and then we kind of gave it up. Says let's head out into the city. And so we've always been Arizona kind of people, and now it's back to, it's like we were pulled back. Good Lord came along and says, you're better off as a redneck, Rob. So here I am out in, we're not actually in Bend, Oregon. We're actually in a place called Crooked River Ranch in Terrebonne, which is 40 miles away from Bend. Every property here tends to be 5 to 6 acres. So you can see it's a very spacious area. And it's quite a community. There's a lot of places around here. But Crooked River Ranch was at one time a recreational area in the 70s, and it got kind of reorganized and then broken up into lots throughout the giant. It was a giant ranch at one time, and so that's why it kept the name Crooked River Ranch. Anyway, and eventually people started building homes here, and then so ordinances are changed, and really there's not that much RV. People have their RVs here, but they don't, come here camping like they used to. So it's changed a lot. It's a community, but it's not a neighborhood. It's more spacious than that. You hardly see your neighbors because they're so far away. So people are different here, definitely hometown. A lot of southern hospitality in a Central Oregon way. Things move slower here. Nobody's in a hurry, and if you order anything like faster internet or anything like that, it takes what usually takes a couple of days in a city is a week away. And nobody's in a big hurry here. And there's lots of fix-it opportunities here. And luckily, Jay has a really good shop and tools, so I'm able to fix. And then I've had to even he has a beautiful pond that needed some work. I got that working better. Just tons of things to do, lifetime of things to do. And anyway, how that affects me and Sherry in the future, not sure. But right now I got more on my plate than I have ever had before, and I have to deal with those cards and see how well we do with it. Like I said, we're keeping a promise.
Dog waste is never fun to deal with. You should always be using a quality dog waste bag. They should be strong, leak-proof, and have easy tie handles. RangerRob Poopy Bags is that bag. Eco-friendly, lemon-scented, easy to use every time. RangerRob Poopy Bags come in a 2-month supply in sheets and in rolls. Hop over to Amazon.com right now and get your cost-effective RangerRob Poopy Bags today. Stop using low-quality, cheap dog waste bags when you now have the option for RangerRob Poopy Bags. We love and care about you and your pets.
There you go, RangerRob Poopy Bags, boy. If you want to help donate to the show and help support us, we love donations, but I prefer just buy our poopy bags. If you've got a dog, or if you got friends with dogs, they make great gifts. And of course, we're getting into the season of giving, and the RangerRob Poopy Bags are affordable. Definitely keep you under that $10 mark. And if you got family members that have pets, they're going to need poopy bags. And if you want to give them the best, give them RangerRob Poopy Bags. Available on Amazon, and you can go to RangerRobPoopyBags.com, and you can go there and check them out. So we appreciate that. So here I am. I'm got this RV in the back, and we're boondocking, and then we moved it to the front of the property near the shop, so the RV could be on power. Now, unfortunately, I'm just using 110, so it's good to run, your typical lights, and I can run a microwave and stuff. I can't run AC or anything, but I may actually have an electrician come out and put a 50-watt amp plug on the outside of the shop. So we'll be fine for now. But I like the 50 amp because we can run we have one of those fireplaces that put out a heater. I'd like to turn that on more so I'm not burning so much propane. And of course, when the summers come, if we're out here and using this thing or have gas, that we can run the air conditioners. So we'll see how that goes. But right now we do have power and water. I'm still just, I don't have the water hooked up full time, which I could. Reason being is we're getting close to winter, and freezing will be starting up here in, I don't know, maybe a month and a half to 2. And I just don't want to deal with, I can't insulate a hose that long. It's quite a ways different. So I'm just filling the tank, which is a very large tank in our Montana. I think is well over 50 gallons. And we still do showers out here and the whole thing. And our gray water, we have always released our gray water into the ground. And then the other thing I've never used before, I bought a very nice, very high-tech black tank, mobile tank. And we do have there is a hookup in the back of the property. Not a hookup, but a sewage extra place to dump at. So I got this thing where I can dump our black tank into a very good size, I think it's 38 gallons, water tank thing that has the little fold out. I can't remember what brand it was. I did do a video on it. And it has a little tow rod on it. So I just fill it up. It'll be very heavy. I just connect it to the back of the truck, to bring it around to the back of the house, and dump it at the septic tank extra receptacle we have in the back of the property. So that's how we take care of our black water. And convenient? No. But necessary? Yes. And this is our escape, because the house, she's come on in, move in, you can sleep and all that stuff, but it doesn't feel like ours. And it, Sherry and I need to have our space, and so, hey, the fifth wheel here kind of gives us that space. We've lived in this RV, full time for quite a bit, so when we're in it, it feels like home. So this is a great place for me to do work on the podcasts and watch a few shows and things that maybe wouldn't be like, I don't expect Sherry's mother to enjoy The Walking Dead. And, we'll watch a lot of RV stuff just to keep on track of stuff. And so this is my private office, too. And Sherry and I sleep out here, even though we can and been invited to stay in the house. It just doesn't feel like ours. And so we like it like this. And the RV is just home. And some of you guys, that that stay full time in the RVs and stuff. You hear me tease you guys about being homeless and all that stuff, but it is your home, and it feels like your home, and you're comfortable in it, and you got everything the way you want it. And that's how our RV is. And for those of you who are new to listening to the channel, we have a Montana 2013. It's a 3625 RE, which the entertainment system's in the back. Made some modifications to it. We do have a solar on it, not very much. It's 85 watts just to keep the batteries up to snuff. And we do have a converter system in, so we can watch our entertainment system on batteries if we want to. And we have a generator, and we really love our RV. It's a very comfortable fifth wheel. And we pull it with a nice 2002 Ford F350 dually king cab with the 7.3 engine in it. Yeah, 7.3, I said that right. And you don't see those anymore. So we're very fortunate, and thank goodness we have our RV. Well, one of the things that is coming up here in a couple of shows from now is I'm going to try to bring Three Tails RV back in, because for those of you, I've told you that we have the Wi-Fi Ranger on our RV, and that was like a $600 system at the time. And apparently there's a new one out there that you can buy on Amazon for $186. And Three Tails RV just did a little review on it, but he's going to do more reviews on it. And I want to get on and bring him in on Skype and talk to him again and compare the two systems. I'll tell you what I like about the Wi-Fi Ranger, and the interface is one thing I don't like. I'm really curious to see how the system is that he's putting on. So once he has it installed, he has it already, but he's still installing it. We're going to have kind of a debate, and I'm going to do a live show on that. So speaking of live shows, what I do want to remind you is we have a lot of podcast listeners. A very large number. But not that so much. Some of them don't realize we also have a YouTube version of this show. And when we do a live show, you can literally see us doing the show. And you see, put the voices with faces with the voices. And we still do the audio version on YouTube also. So just let you know, we're on all kinds of platforms, but some people don't know that there's a video version of this. And you'll find that on the RangerRob channel on YouTube. You'll find a section, or what they call a playlist, on our channel just for RV Talk Radio. And we got hit, 132 different episodes. We've been doing this show for a long time. And no, I don't get as many. I don't get a show out every week. I try to do my best. I was on a roll there for a while. But life happens, and it's really hard to commit yourself to a weekly show. So we do our best. Sometimes I'll try to do, cut a couple of shows in the same week, and then I'll, give them, and spread them out. But sometimes it's really hard. I like to do my shows fairly soon, just before the real time that I launch them, so they're kind of real-time videos, real-time podcasts. And you can also catch many of our episodes, hundreds of them, on Good Talk Radio, which is our full-time internet radio station. And we play RV Talk Radio on Saturdays and Sundays in the afternoon. Sometime you have to go to the schedule. Just go to goodtalkradio.com and just go to the schedule, and you can figure out very quickly if there's an RV Talk Radio time that really works good, that you can catch our show. So there's the podcast, there's the video version, especially on live shows, and of course we're syndicated on Good Talk Radio. And we're on all kinds of other platforms, Spreaker and YouTube and iTunes and Spotify and some other stuff. I don't remember them all. Anyway, but check us out. RV Talk Radio is all over the place. And we love hearing from you, so we love your comments. A lot of times we'll try to rile you up a little bit. And we always ask that if you got comments, good or bad or indifferent, just be professional. I don't mind you disagreeing with stuff we say. That's not a problem. I'm old school. I can handle a debate. Insults, not necessary. In fact, we just don't pay attention to that stuff. You really lose my interest as soon as you start calling me scum-sucking slime. I don't get that. Actually, all my, even negative stuff, I've had great feedback come in, and I appreciate that. So, if you like our show and you've always been with us for years, do take the time and buy some RangerRob poopy bags. It really helps us get our business out there and get our name out there. It's hard. It's really hard to launch a new product, and we need your help. And so, buy some and give them out as gifts. Give them out for Christmas and stuff. They're a great gift. Really, if you got a friend that's got a dog, that's a great gift. It's like going to someone having a baby. The best gift you can give them is diapers, because that nickels and dimes people to death. And you can never have enough poopy bags around the house or in your RV, especially if they're RVers, guys. Get them poopy bags, because they'll be using them a lot. And once they get RangerRob poopy bags, they'll love them. And then they'll buy them themselves, and that helps us. And we do appreciate that. So, one thing I didn't tell you about is, now we're in this property, 5 acres of it. Oh my gosh, do I have a happy dog. Cinder is on cloud 9. She's probably, just like her owner, is going to lose a few pounds, because there's nothing but running and chewing and barking and things to sniff and animals to chase and the whole works. And this is one happy chocolate lab. And, we also have our cat up here. Now, the little dilemma, Sherry's mother has 2 cats. And so we already said, if you're going to have us living with us, you got to accept a dog, which is not a problem. Anyway, so Cinder's easily going into the house. The 2 new cats in there are just perfectly happy. Well, our cat's lived in this RV before, and she's perfectly content. However, we figure it's only been 2 weeks since all this stuff has been going on. It's like we can only handle so much at a time with all this change. We have not introduced the third cat, and so we'll kind of tell you how that goes. But in the meantime, the third cat is in her happy RV, and she's perfectly content. And she does come outside with us on nice days. Doesn't stay outside because we have to be careful. We have hawks here. But she loves to get out and kind of chew in grass and walk around the property and explore and stuff. And she's not a runner, so that's kind of nice. And she's a real coward. So if she hears a noise she doesn't, comes running right back to the RV like, let me in, I heard a weird noise. But yeah, Cinder, if everybody's wondering how the dog's doing, the dog, obviously in Arizona, you guys watch our videos, Cinder's got a swimming pool and she's pretty happy there. But having property, she is, and all these critters and all that kind of stuff, she's definitely a happy dog. So it's been great for her, and should be healthy for her too. So, yeah, you never know. Life changes. Boy, ours was abrupt. You have to think about just what I told you. 2 weeks ago, Sherry and I are living. She's doing her 9-to-5 job. I'm doing my normal radio shows and my poopy bag business and the radio station stuff in the mornings and cooking. I'm doing. You guys hear me about cooking all the time, and just living our lives and just doing all that. And all of a sudden we get this news. And it's, oh my gosh, and it's packing Sherry flying up, and then the actual event happened, and then I will obviously need to get up here for support, and obviously things that needed to be fixed and taken care of here. And, we had the RV, so that was always good to know. But in a blink of an eye, we now have a mother-in-law type thing to take care of, a property to take care of, back in our RV, empty house in Arizona. Our life is turned upside down in an instant, and we anticipated it a little, but when you're actually living through it, it's an oh my gosh day every day, and wonder what we're going to do, what the plans are. But that's life. That's life. Life happens. It's just like people that sell all their house, worldly possessions and decide to go RVing. That first day is the scariest. And then you just kind of learn to adapt and start learning the lifestyle, find out what does and doesn't work for you. Same thing. And, yeah, I'm overwhelmed, guys. There's no doubt. And I do appreciate, we've had a lot of nice comments coming in for people that caught the video, understanding that we had a family loss. And it's kind of funny. I guess I want to bring this up. Is when I've just mentioned this before. I lost my mother when I was 14, my father when I was about 26. So they went around a lot, and they didn't. My mother, they never met my kids, and my dad did a little bit when they're little, and they're gone. And Sherry's been fortunate to have her parents around for a long time. And so the point being on the whole thing is, if you have your parents around and you can find a way to live together or deal with each other, just realize how fortunate you still have your parents around. Some of you are like me and lost their parents young. But if your parents are around and you get along with them, or maybe you have some unsaid things or things you really want to get done, I'm telling you, you get it done. Don't wait. Like after you hear this podcast, call your mom, call your dad. Our lifestyles are different, and we're merging two kind of lifestyles together here a little bit. It's going to be hard, but it needs to be done, because someday, and it's going to happen to you too, someday someone may have to take care of you. You better lead by example. Well, I have no idea why I picked this song for the next mod here, but It's like Roadrunner. I gotta like Roadrunner. So anyway, one of the things I've been watching, I've been seeing a whole lot of lately, especially one guy that really covers it well, is what's it called? Little House on the Road. The guy's name's Rob. I've mentioned him before. And there's people like or dislike him, and that's not the point. It's what he's talking about. Two things. One is campers or RVers or nomads are pigs. Or at least showing an example of not taking care of the places that they're boondocking at. Because he's been showing a lot, especially in Arizona, my own state. People are just trashing the woods, the outdoors, and some people try to blame it on homeless, but it's not necessarily homeless. So I don't know, but I keep saying we're going to lose our privileges of being able to use BLM land and stuff, because I mean, people are leaving junk. I mean, even buses out in the abandoned, and it's like. And furniture, and we're not just talking about garbage things, and of course, unsanitary conditions where they're pooping and peeing everywhere. I swear, you go camping, I'm going to make you guys take RangerRob poopy bags to pick up after yourselves. Anyway, and by the way, they do work for that purpose. So if you're a hiker, a camper, or a nomad, and you're out in the boonies and you don't have a bucket, use a either bury it or use a RangerRob poopy bag and dispose of it. Okay, not preaching on that. The other thing is people getting killed, literally. Dangers, either from accidents or actually people that are being victimized as RVers or nomads. Seems like there's more and more of those stories coming up. So, gosh, people, I would definitely be careful where you're camping. And people are starting, the bad guys out there are probably starting to figure some of this out. That what a great place or good target for people that are nomads, especially if they leave their rig and go drive around or something. All it takes is someone to hang out, wait for them to leave, and breaking into the RVs, nothing, and you're out all your stuff. And of course, and the damages. So, and people are getting killed and murdered out there. A lot? Probably not that many. There's probably some stories we're not hearing about. But it seems like there's more of it. And so, prepare yourselves a little more. Think about where you're staying. Do more things with groups. More than one camper. I think, have a weapon. Even making sure you have a good dog that might be able to help secure your RV a little bit. Things to think about. It seems like there's a lot of it, and it's a little scary. And I know even in my day when there wasn't a lot of problems out there, there was places we stayed. I didn't sleep good that night, or wasn't happy, or didn't sleep all night at all. And I just feel terrible as a husband putting my wife, obviously it's an equal world, we both made the decision, but I feel responsible, old school, sorry people, that if I put my wife in a bad situation where we got hurt or assaulted, I couldn't live with myself. So I don't know if the new generation's like that so much, but I always want to make sure I always put Sherry in a good situation and safe environment. And there was a couple times I felt like I failed, and I felt terrible. I did it less and less as time went on, as I got wiser. Luckily, we have a lot of these people who are making videos that make us think, and we don't always agree with the people that are doing the reports, but it's a feather in your hat to kind of keep in mind that safety is something we got to really pay attention to. And the other thing is, if you take it in, take it out. When it comes to garbage and things like that, guys, you're gonna ruin it. For those of you that are trashing the places and leaving garbage and stuff, sounds like that Rob guy that I'm talking about from Little House on the Road. In some cases helps pick up the areas and stuff. But are you willing to do that? I kind of doubt you will be. It's not for everyone. So keep that in mind, guys. Keep our place pristine. Pick up. Plan that you're going to have garbage, and plan you're going to take garbage out. For all your fellow RVers and van dwellers and nomads, do it. We're going to lose the privilege, and we already are. And of course, you're going to get charged in more places because it takes manpower to clean that stuff up. And so that comes out of fees that we pay. So don't be surprised that more places that used to be free are now a cost. And in some places, will just be plain old closed off for seasons and stuff. More and more and more, we're losing our freedom of boondocking and stuff. And yeah, it's just not good. And it's like we need to pass the word. And one of the things Rob was saying is, guys, do more videos about it. Call people out. There's a lot of little things we can do as individuals to keep talking about it. And I'm doing my part by saying, guys, there's a problem out there. We need to take care of the environment better and the places we go. Otherwise, it's not going to be available anymore. And then you're going to be upset about that. And it's going to be our own fault. Well, I want to kind of put emphasis once again on the title of the show, which I believe is RV Mission. And boy, I cannot say enough how thankful I have an RV, and it did the job that it was planned to do after we get done using it for full timing. And it's going to have other purposes, but its mission in the last 2 years was to be prepared for the unthinkable, actually. And I hate the fact that the unthinkable actually happened, but not surprised, obviously, because we were prepared. This RV is our home, and right now it's our second home, and now could be our third home. I don't know. But wow, what it did for us. We immediately came up, and there was no moving in, getting settled, all that. Our house was here. Our house on wheels was here, waiting for us for this day. Was it hard on the RV? A little bit, because it wasn't being used as much. But it pulled through. And it's like an old friend. And some of you that have been maybe using your RV part-time or whatever, and maybe went full-time for a while and then didn't, whatever, you'll know exactly what I meant by our old friend was there by our side. It was patiently waiting to do its job, to hug me and Sherry when we needed it most. An emergency came up, we could focus on what was needed when we got here without worrying about where we're going to sleep and where we're going to eat and where we're going to chill out at and keep paperwork and do our job still and set up our temporary offices and stuff. It was here waiting for us the whole time. I cannot tell you how important that was to us. Wow, I mean, I know you guys love your RVs for full timing and your vacations and all that stuff, and that's cool. But your RV can be there for emergencies and other things. And that's why we do what we do on RV Talk Radio. We talk about lifestyles. We don't talk about fixing things and stuff. We talk about systems and stuff like that. But and other purposes. Like I said, people use their RVs to live in, or RV can be a great place to stay. If you're making like tons of money and you lived in an RV, you could take tons of that money and put it in savings and really get your finances in order. Maybe you're young and you want to keep your overhead down. You get a nice RV and you just keep your overhead down and work on those loans and student loans and stuff, and get your house in order before you buy a house. So the RV is the cure for that. But it's a cure for many other things, as we've proven. So hopefully we've given people some ideas of how the RV can be a tool, a resource, a help, a partner in issues you may have in your family or work, contract services, or supporting somebody, or building a house and you need a place to live while you're building it. I don't know how many people I've met that live in RVs that are having houses built. So yeah, things to consider that you can do with an RV beyond just going traveling, which seems to be getting harder and harder to do sometimes. And it's getting crowded out there, but boy, some of the other multi-functions you can have an RV for. So when you're buying an RV, keep in mind what kind of things would you need it for. I'm kind of glad our RV is not small, even though we're thinking about getting a smaller one. Right now, it's a secondary home, and I'm glad we're in a full-size fifth wheel with all the room and space that we want to be comfortable. It has all the amenities of home. So, wow, what a great thing to have happen to us as far as having our RV. As far as what we had to use it for and why it's here and why we're here today, not real happy about that. However, there's a few things I miss. I miss a larger shower. I miss, well, I'm from Arizona, so I don't have to worry about heating, but I don't like the fact that I have to depend on propane. And, my cupboard spaces, things like, are limited, but we've learned to live with that. We're good there. But noticeable. Refrigerator too, a little smaller. I miss my Traeger. I have a nice little grill, but I don't. It doesn't. I mean, I love my Traeger, and for those of you who watch Cooking with Ranger Rob, and you've probably seen some old videos that we've had on this channel for Traeger Day. I love cooking with my Traeger, and it's not here. And just to run out and buy one, if you guys ever price those things, they're not cheap. They're like $5.99 minimal. There's some smaller versions, but you pretty much want to go with the $600 one. So yeah, I do miss that. So some of the things I've said that you give up as an RVer, coming back, like my podcasts and my computer and all that stuff. We have no dining room table in here. It's all electronics. I have a microphone that's on a boom that's hooked up to the dining room table with a mixer, with a very large 27-inch screen computer in front of me. Pretty much no way you could use it for dinner. Luckily, we have a little side counter, kind of like a little bar that we use for dinners and stuff. Of course, that's always covered with electronics too, charging systems and iPads, and we actually even brought our Alexa show up here. We're kind of hoping to talk to Sherry's folks and maybe get having one, but we have to boost the so the other problem we have here is Sherry's folks weren't really big in the internet, so they had a minimal system. And Sherry does virtual work and I do all my stuff, and so we are boosting the internet here. Internet on in this area is really tough to get, but we're actually using a system called Web4Mix, where they actually have a radio tower up on a mountain, and they transmit it for places that are like far away like this, and otherwise I'll end up with a satellite system, and I don't want that kind of internet. And they're, if you look at satellite systems, a lot of them have quotas on the bandwidth usage, and I can't afford that. So we're using a radio system. It's going to be here in about a week, called Whip for Mix. They put a little radio tower on your house, and they transmit it up to a mountain, and you'll get about 17 to 20 megs per second. Not real fast, but that's fast for around here. It'll suffice for what I need, and we'll just go with that. But and it's not cheap either. It's like $95 a month. Where you could get, I have super high speed at home, $59 a month out of Cox, and so I was spoiled with internet before, and it's a little bit more of a battle now. That's reality when you live out in the boonies. I think the other thing I really miss, I don't mind it, I just miss it, is when you live out in the boonies, everything is a mission. So you want to get groceries, plan on an hour and a half. If you're planning to get groceries and go into Costco and get groceries there too, that's a 4-hour program. If you got anything in between that, like lunch and all that, it's an all-day event to take care of some of the necessities for your household here, because to go to Costco is 80 mile. You're talking about 80 to 100 miles in a day to take care of basic amenities like groceries, going to Costco, getting some things you need to fix in the yard. And Lord knows you don't want to forget something, because you don't want to have to go back during that same day for something that you forgot to buy. So you have to be organized. So you'll find yourself taking a lot of time to get things done because of distance. And obviously you start burning more fuel. Where I lived before, everything was a block or two away. And that's one of the reasons why we went to Arizona. One of the things, as we're getting older, it was like, this is kind of nice. Everything being close and still have a nice private yard. But I don't know. It's like yesterday, Sherry and I had to go to the grocery store and do something else. Anyway, we stopped for lunch. It's like we burned away 3.5, 4 hours, and we thought we'd be only gone for 2. And it just doesn't happen around here. Everything's far away. Everything's a distance. And obviously when you're RVing and going to different places like that, you'll find that to be common. But boy, I was getting spoiled there. I hardly ever put any mileage or gas into my truck. Now I'm like, wow. And of course, I drove the truck up here because the car, we wanted to leave that at the house in Arizona. So if we flew down there, we'd have a vehicle. We just used Uber just from the airport to the house, and then we'd be fully mobile. But yeah, I mean, just like I said, our whole world was turned upside down. But being that this is RV Talk Radio, the real hero, the real helpful thing that we had here was our RV. Thank goodness. And praise the RV, because it just saved us. And having a good one, I appreciate. And because my systems are all working, I don't have any leaks, and I'm very, very comfortable. This actually has 4 slides. Big living room, opened up kitchen with a slide there, and then obviously the bedroom. Really, really appreciate this RV. This has always been a very comfortable RV. So, anyway, point to the show. RV fulfilled its mission. I hope I don't have to give it another mission like that again. It wasn't pleasant. Sherry, by the way, is doing pretty good. We were very well prepared for this. Her parents were very open and honest about the day that they may expire and what to do. Their paperwork is totally in order. Everything's in writing. Making the situation very easy. One thing it kind of threw us is everybody anticipated that her mother would actually go before him because she's a lot of health issues. She's not very mobile. And that's not the case. That's not what happened. Just the opposite. So that threw everybody for a loop. And so she needs somebody. And Sherry and I we made the commitment. We always thought, we just have to take care of the estate and things like that. But now it's much more. It's not just that. There's her mother. And she would prefer to stay at her home. And we prefer not to put her in a assisted living. She would if we made her to, but I think we have some wiggle room here. So that's what's thrown us. This is not what we anticipated, but it's okay because it's family, and it's okay because we have an RV here, and we feel at home in our RV while we're trying to figure out how to make this our home with another person. So put that in your pipe and smoke it. Not an easy road to hoe, is it? So anyway, I want to thank everybody for listening to RV Talk Radio. Please take the time to get some poopy bags, RangerRob poopy bags. It will help our channel, or you can just go to our website and donate to the channel. That really helps. We really appreciate your feedback and comments. Be professional. We appreciate that. Good, bad, or indifferent. We'd love to hear from you. So, guys, get yourself an RV. Look at the different uses for it. Be safe, and we'll talk to you next time. Thanks, and have a great day, everybody. Bye now.
Thank you very much for watching our video. Please take the time to like, subscribe, and share our videos all over the whole wide world. Thanks.